Tuesday, December 28th, and I have had a very slow morning so far. It's probably 10:30. I think I got up around 8. I was supposed to have a therapy appointment, but my phone's been dumb, so I didn't get it in time. I was like, "Hey, I don't have any cell connection." She was like, "Cool." But I did manage to upload one of the videos, so I'll be trying to stay on schedule. We'll see if it happens. I'm not really expecting to, but my thumbnails are gonna look like trash because I don't have anywhere to draw anything except using my mouse pad. Um, Figuring it out though, I started rendering one out on my laptop last night, and it was done this morning. So I uploaded that to YouTube, scheduled it for January 4th ish, I think, and then I'm gonna have to try to see if I can get two or three more in by the time I'm done being here, which really isn't, that's not too bad. It's just about trying to get it set up. Unfortunately, my editing software keeps crashing now on my laptop, so we'll see if I can do that at all. Another fun thing, the people I'm staying with right now, all of them just got down with the um, stomach flu. So I'm trying to like stay in their space as little as possible. And I might have to go back to my mom's for a bit. I'd rather just sneak in at bedtime and just leave for most of the day. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I've been really nice. It's been really nice having this space for just me to have this like quiet, peaceful time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, before I leave, I'm probably gonna do my like Bible time and stuff so that I don't have this like added. Hey, I need to be alone for a bit now that I'm here. Um, I am gonna make my coffee at home because I haven't been able to get my grinder to work, and I just felt really bad being in their kitchen for any longer than like a minute because I know that they are worried about getting me sick, and I'm like, let me just gently stay out of your space. Um, I had to take a shower this morning, and I felt really awkward because I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I don't want to be. I don't know. It's just like, no, it is what it is. When people are sick, you can't really just crash in their space anymore. But yeah, so we'll see. I might have to pack up some stuff. I mean, I'm mostly packed as is because I've only been here for like 3 days. But actually, it's almost been a week. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been flying, but like crazy still. Yeah, yesterday was great. I have high hopes that today will be even better. Um, I watched I watched Don't Look Up last night, and I have some thoughts. So first is the obvious parallels between like what they're trying to talk about is really climate change, right? Like to me that's the message I got was like, hey, climate change is real, like we will actually die, you know? And so the way that they talked about it in that way was really interesting. They used a lot of analogies and stuff to try and get the story across, but I thought it was interesting the way that they characterized like the fake news and all that stuff. And like to me, it felt like, Republican being the one in charge. Really, like any political party is gonna act pretty much that same exact way, which is part of what made it such an interesting movie. Obviously, it was all exaggerated, right? Like it was all characterizations and all like nobody cares about the fact the world's ending. Everyone's all like blasé about it, but at the same time, it really is how people function for the most part. Like the way that we deal with such big news is usually to like make it into something that's not so difficult. And I think that is dangerous. Like if we get so used to sugarcoating problems, then we don't act in a way that deals with them in a like, timely manner. Um, Especially if we spend so much time deliberating whether or not something's real. Like we spend a lot of time doing stuff like that in general. Um, I, yeah, it was a really interesting conversation piece about the stuff going on in the world, and I think for the most part, like I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I really think that there's so many issues where we have division that aren't necessary, but at the same time, ignoring that division or pretending it doesn't exist is also contributing to the problem. they had a character that was wearing like an arrow up and an arrow down pin to say like look up and look down. Let's all come together. Like that's not gonna stop the fact that there was like meteoroid crashing in your planet. Um, and I also liked that there was a bad ending. You know, I liked that they didn't try. Sorry, I'm spoiling this completely. I should have said that in the beginning. I'll say it in somewhere in the notes or something. Like I'll put a little edited. Please, I'm about to spoil the entire movie. It ends badly. Like that is a huge crucial part of what they're trying to say because this isn't about like this isn't necessarily a passive movie. Like it's actually trying to say, "Hey, if we don't intervene, the world is going to end." Like this is the possible outcome that's going to happen and there's if we keep waiting, there's not going to be as much that we can do to prevent it. Um, and then, of course, the really interesting elements of the social media platforms and the power that tech giants have, because it is actually ridiculous how they can just be like, all right, we're actually doing this, and everyone's like, oh, I guess we're actually doing this now, and the power that kind of being confident in your storytelling and being like, hey, I'm evolving the human species, the terrifying elements of the abilities of algorithms to predict future elements, and that's terrifying too, but at the same time he didn't predict that his stuff was going to fail either. So it's really interesting. I guess question authority for the most part, question the even cancel culture stuff too, because they showed one aspect of where one character was telling the truth and they made her into a meme and called her crazy and her boyfriend broke up with her and all that happened. So it's really really important, I think, to think critically for yourself in general, and analyzing this movie a little bit. I'm not that good at analyzing film. It was really interesting to see like the dialogue with current issues like climate change and other things. So for another level, the character playing the astronomer guy, in the beginning, you see his character develop so much. It's really interesting. One of those fall from grace kind of characters. He starts off being this really timid, like kind of mellow guy who just has a family in Michigan and all this stuff that he's just very I haven't published in a while. You probably haven't heard of me. I don't know. But all I care about is the math. All I care about is doing that right. That's the only thing I know. To this actual character who's famous, who's making it on Sesame Street or other things like Sesame Street, not obviously real Sesame Street, but those character development there with the level of confidence, moving all the way from being timid but right to confident but wrong, and confident but going down a bad path where he lost his morality, was cheating on his wife and other things, and unwilling to acknowledge, that he was wrong. Because I think that pride really came in and really elevated him to a point where he ignored his morals because he honestly felt like he was above them. I think he felt like he was evolving into a better version of himself, or, a better progression. And I think that that's a dangerous thing with self-help, improvement, whatever, that I've fallen into, being I'm better than that person then. But the reality is you're crueler now. You're less connected to yourself. You're not as kind to other people. That isn't an improvement, right? You're just more prideful. You're more confident in your wrongness because you're being you're being supported by other people who are telling you that you're healthy and fine and all that stuff. So yeah, those are some thoughts on that movie. I really liked a lot of it, and I also loved the representation of a Christian character who wasn't dumb, or I mean, he was kind of dumb, but he also was thinking for himself and being I've come to terms with my own faith, and it's different from my parents, it's different from other people. I found God on my own, and the way that he prayed and stuff was genuinely wow, okay, that's a real, I can see that being a genuine faith too. So it was really cool to see that in a character that kind of wasn't your stereotypical Christian Baptist character. Someone who, also skateboarded, probably does drugs. Probably not the most mature, but or the most stereotypical. But at the same time, I enjoyed that character. I thought he was genuinely multifaceted and a little more interesting than most Christian characters. And it was also interesting, you know, having that level of like, wow, he's also super duper interested in this one character. So I don't know. It was just really interesting. But I liked that. I liked that he seemed more authentic than most Christian characters do, or at least more grounded to reality. Um, I, you know, think that for most people that I know that are Christians, they look more like him than most other characters that, you know, I've seen in media. Um, yeah, I liked that part. I don't know. Everything about it, you can tell it was all trying to push for one kind of overarching theme, and a lot of it was analogies for current issues. So you can't really overlook that and just say, "Oh, it's just a story." Like, no, they're clearly trying to say something. They're trying to say something about the world that we live in now and the way that we get really stuck on ignoring issues until they're not solvable anymore. And it to me it was most clearly a parallel with climate change, but obviously the concepts are applicable to other things like COVID and other issues. They talked a lot about corruption in the government and other kinds of issues where we put so much stock. We put so much of priority into like the money being made, and once they found out that that comet was valuable, the complete shift in attitude and perspective, and as well as the anarchy that resulted in normal people's society as a result of discovering that. Um, but yeah, like there was one point in the movie where it could have, you know, had a happy ending, and then after that point, it was like, no, there's no way that it's gonna be okay. But that is the point of what they're trying to say. Like, it's not too late yet. Like, but at the same, like, we shouldn't be focusing so much on one issue that we ignore all the other ones. But at the same time, let's be realistic and be honest and acknowledge that, hey, there's something we can do. So I think we should try and do it. So anyway, that's my thoughts right now, but I am going to go do my Bible study and then head over to my mom's house for this morning, and then I'm going to head to my dad's for working on stuff this afternoon. I'll catch you guys later. Happy Tuesday.